excited about Clayton Kershaw.
Hanging a bunch of K's like wallpaper out there.
And Clayton Kershaw is having some kind of a night.
Public enemy number one, that big curveball.
The greatness of Clayton Kershaw shown off yet again.
Yet another check mark on the remarkable resume of Clayton Kershaw.
I think this is the best we've seen that slider. That's unhittable.
And with that, 300 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw.
We start to take it for granted because he just goes out there every fifth day and dominates over and over and over again.
He strikes him out and passes Sandy Koufax. Clayton Kershaw stands alone in second place in the Dodger all-time list for strikeouts.
There it is.
Clayton Kershaw, the Dodger strikeout king. The ravine rises, ready to erupt. Strike three called. Strikeout number 3,000 for Clayton Kershaw. History at Dodger Stadium.
The 20th person to ever strike out 3,000 batters, only the third to do it with one team. Walter Johnson, Bob Gibson, and now Clayton Kershaw, who's kind enough to join us live on MLB Network. Clayton, congratulations. We were all riveted to the television watching you do your thing. Describe the emotion of the moment when that called strike three occurred.
I mean, honestly, just relief. You know, it took long enough. Got a full 6 innings in there, but finally pulled it off. So it was just, you know, looking back on it, you know, other than giving up too many runs, I wouldn't have changed too much about last night. It was so special, man. Just having everybody behind me. The fans here were so fired up. I think that was one of the coolest things was after the 5th inning, you know, I had thrown so many pitches and, you know, running back out for the 6th, like hearing that crowd, that was about as loud as I've heard it for a regular season game here. So just everything was pretty special, man. I tried to take it all in as best I could last night, but didn't sleep much, and it's still with me right now. It's pretty awesome.
It was awesome. Clayton, it's Peeve. Congratulations, buddy. I want to ask you about, you talked about going out for the 6th. What was that conversation like with Doc after 5? We all wanted you to go back out. Was there any doubt? What was the conversation?
No, Doc didn't say anything, so I knew I was going to get to go back out. He usually doesn't say anything if I get another shot at it.
That's
so
right.
that was awesome. You know, Doc was in it with me. He definitely wanted me to get it here, and I made everybody sweat. I made my wife sweat. I made everybody sweat. It took way too long, but I finally got it done. So I'm just so thankful it got to happen at Dodger Stadium, and man, it was just it was a really surreal moment for me, and it was more than I could have ever thought. It was awesome.
Clayton, what does it mean to have your teammates rally behind you like that and to be able to share a moment like this with them?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said afterwards in the clubhouse to the guys. I was like, you know, individual awards and stuff and success is great, but if you don't have anybody to celebrate it with, it doesn't mean too much. So to have those guys in the clubhouse and to have, you know, Freddie was constantly reminding me how many strikeouts I had left, and just having everybody there getting a toast after the game, it was that's the kind of stuff that you remember. You know, you don't remember the stuff you do on your own. You do it with the people around you. So that was an incredible moment for me.
You keep using the word thankful, but are you thankful to yourself for managing your career the way you did? Because you had opportunities in free agency to sign with other organizations, and it's the truth, you did. But you had the foresight to recognize that these moments could happen, and to have them all happen with a Dodger uniform on. Have you had a moment to go, I am so glad I made this long-term decision?
I don't know if I thought about it in terms like that, but I'm super grateful to be here for as long as I have been. You know, I think however it worked out, whatever reasons that I'm here for however many years it's been, is I'm very thankful for that. And I don't think I truly appreciated it when I was younger going through it, but, you know, now looking back to get to be here with one organization, you know, you think about like, you know, Todd Helton, Chipper Jones, Derek Jeter, these guys that did it with one uniform on. That's pretty cool, and so I don't take that for granted anymore. That's pretty special.
Clayton, I want you to just keep going. I know there's countless. We talk about family first off, seeing your family up there going crazy. That was amazing. You can't do what you've done, any of us were able to do, without incredible support system. Talked about your family. I want to hear trainers' names, catchers, strength stuff. I know there's a long list of names. Get some of them in, buddy.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that put this carcass back together a lot of times to get me back out there on the mound. So I'm super thankful for that. But, yeah, I mean, Ellen, my kids, like, that's been it makes it mean that much more to have him there. And, you know, that spot on the front row on the Dodger Stadium on that second section is kind of like the family section. And so Ellen's been there for everything. She's seen the good ones, she's seen the bad ones and the really bad ones. And, you know, now my older two kids definitely remember. My younger two, not so much, but it was a special night for all of us. And, yeah, it just means so much more to have people to get to celebrate it with. And Ellen, my wife, there's no better person to get to celebrate other people's success. So it was pretty amazing.
Clayton, let's go ahead and scrap the cameras, you know, the fans, the cheers, you know, the people around you. You finally find a quiet moment by yourself. Maybe it's before you went to bed, before you went to sleep. What was your inner dialogue like?
Ooh, inner dialogue. I think just grateful, man. You know, I think just so grateful, so thankful just to be a part of it, to get to do it for as long as I have. And, you know, I think that's it, man. As you get older, you realize that you might not have as many opportunities you would want to go back up on that mound. And Dodger Stadium is a very special place for me. And so to get to do it here and be here, I don't have a lot of words other than just super thankful, super grateful to get to do it.
Here you are at 37 years old. You're 4-0 with a 3.43. Oh, by the way, you're doing it on the mound. How happy are you with what's coming out of your hand at the moment?
Well, that was awesome last night. You know, I was on the hook there, and we got in the ninth, and Freddie, all those guys, Freddie with the huge hit, but all the walks, and Shohei getting the stolen base there, like that really put the icing on the cake for the night to get that win there at the end. So that was awesome. But, man, when you're part of a good team, you get wins. You know, I know y'all talk about the win for a pitcher all the time on the show, but that's true. I mean, if you're on a good team, you just have an opportunity to get more wins. So that's another reason I'm super thankful to be a Dodger. You get a lot more wins than losses. So that's pretty awesome.
And a pretty perfect pitch, though, to end the inning. Like the moment, right? We were talking about it. Could you imagine if it was called strike three and it was just like a half-inch, like off the plate? Aren't you glad it was like a perfect backdoor pitch to get that called strike three?
See, when you call it backdoor, it sounds perfect. I call it a backup slider that just ended up back there, you know? It just backed up in a good spot. So at the end of the day, I'll take it. I needed that third one. I don't care how it looked. I got it done, so it was awesome.
It was so fun to watch. Clayton,
yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. That was one of the top moments of the year. Congratulations again.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
There you have him, the great Clayton Kershaw joining us live.
What do you take away from that entire experience last night?
Yeah, I mean, if I would have known the script and it would have been my last strikeout, it would have been okay. But it was pretty stressful there for those 6 innings trying to figure out how to strike out 3 guys, you know. So I would have liked to give up a few less runs, but you know the way the team played and got the walk-off last night with Freddie, it was a special night, man. It was. I mean, more than I could have ever expected. You know, I think the coolest thing was like just the fans being so into it. You know, from the first pitch on, and some of the bullpen guys were saying when they were getting up, you know, getting loose down there, the fans were yelling at them to sit back down, and it was just awesome, man. It was a great night all the way around. My teammates. Obviously carrying as much as they did was really special for me too. So yeah, man, I wouldn't change anything now, but I think I put a lot of people, especially my wife, in a stressful situation watching that whole game trying to get that third one. So
Kirsch, what's going on? This is your favorite teammate of all time, Jay Hare. First and foremost, congratulations, 3,000 strikeouts. Kind of walk us through it. After that final strikeout, you're walking towards the dugout, but you stop. Obviously, you now acknowledge your wife and your kids, but you take time out to acknowledge the fans. I remember when Cal Ripken Jr. broke the streak. I was his teammate when he decided to end the streak there in Baltimore, and him showing appreciation, the love he had for the fans. Kind of tell us that love affair you guys had, fans to you and you to them, these past 18 years.
No, Jay, I was looking for you. I didn't see you in the stands. That's what I was doing. I was looking around, seeing if you were there, my favorite teammate of all time, you know. But it was amazing. It really was. It was such a special thing. You know, I usually try to lock it in before the game, you know, and so I'm walking out to warm up, and just the environment, the crowd, the cheers, like I just felt like I had to acknowledge. So I tipped my cap before the game even started. It was just it was amazing. Yeah, the last 18 years, I mean, we've been through it. We've been through some good stuff. We've been through some bad stuff, and the fans continue to show their support. And last night was kind of the culmination of it all. And it was incredible all the way around. I'm so thankful that I got to do that here. I'm so thankful that I got to hear that applause, and once in a lifetime, man. It was pretty special.
Hey, Kirsch, this is Nomar, one of your original teammates who was in the stands and was part of that 6-minute ovation. So I was there, so definitely cheering you on. So congratulations, my friend. But you know what I wanted to ask you was, after the game, it was so cool seeing you on the field with your family, taking pictures. But it was cool that, they were giving you the mound. They were tearing up the mound. Did you know that was going to happen? How did that come about? And two, is that the first time you've ever held a mound?
I think so. I didn't know they were going to do that. Jordan, the head grounds crew guy, said they do that about 3 times a year. They replace the mound, but it's a process. It took them 5 hours today to redo the rubber, so it was. It's no easy task, and that thing is heavy, man. It's like, I was super tired last night. I still am, but it felt like it was 100 pounds last night. But just a really cool gesture, obviously. You don't really think about the rubber being something that you want, but at the end of the day, that's a pretty special thing. So I'm excited about that. I haven't decided if I'm going to let Lon and the Dodgers keep that one or not, but that one's pretty cool.
That's a good paperweight.
Well, that's what I was just going to ask you about, Clayton. We just saw a video of you holding that pitching rubber, and you got the 3,000 strikeout ball as well. And there's some great photos that you were able to take with your family down there. Are you a big memento guy? Do you like to keep a lot of that stuff for yourself that you might have back in your house?
I am starting to more. I think I really didn't have much appreciation for things early on. The only things I've done is I've used the same glove for a long time until we won the World Series, and so I retired that glove, and then I've used the same glove until now, and I retired that glove last night. So just little stuff like that, keep the jersey, keep the ball, and starting to appreciate all that stuff a little bit more for sure.
Clayton, I got a chance to, we all did, got a chance to see your press conference last night. You mentioned your teammates, being able to share this with your teammates. Talk about being in that clubhouse with your guys and having that momentum or that experience with them and sharing that with them and toasting them as well.
Yeah, you guys know, this is a hard game, and the people that know that the best are in that clubhouse with you, and so the people that really understand success and really understand failure are the ones that are right next to you every day. So for them to celebrate with you and feel your success and be happy with you and joyful with you, that is a special thing, man, because they understand what it takes. They understand what you've been through to get to that point. And so if you don't have anybody to celebrate with, like a team or your teammates, what's the point in doing anything anyway? So I was so thankful for the guys. They were really in it with me, and getting the toast last night and kind of just say thank you to them for being along on this ride with me was awesome.
Well, Kirsch, I know you're always about team. You've always been that throughout your entire career. And I know every offseason, all you're thinking about is preparing yourself for the next season so you can go out there and win a World Series. That's first and foremost, despite all the accomplishments and everything you have done. But I'm just curious, was there maybe one offseason, where you're going, man, what I just did that year was kind of cool, whether it was an MVP or whatever, just an individual where because I know you'll have time to reflect on that. There's definitely going to be time, but is there anything where man, that was kind of cool that I did that?
I think when you're in it, year in, year out, and you got another year, it's hard to reflect, and I think, as you kind of see the finish line a little bit closer than it maybe was in the past, you understand to appreciate things a little bit more. So, last night, after we went home and I got to sit down for a minute and kind of think back on the night, I wasn't good at that, I'm still not great at it, but last night I think I did a good job of being just to sit in it for 5 or 10 minutes and just really be thankful, and grateful for that. And there's not many times you get to climb that mound at Dodger Stadium and hear that crowd like that. And that might have been, as far as regular season goes, maybe the icing on the cake for me. So that was such a special moment. And maybe not as good at it in the past, but now I'm definitely getting a little bit better at it with my, my gray hair and my wise old age,
Well, I know it gave Nomar and I goosebumps, Clayton. We were both sitting there in the third row watching it, and we certainly appreciate everything that you've done for this organization, the city of Los Angeles, you and your wife, your entire family. It was just great to be able to soak it all in. And I know the final chapter of your great career has not been written yet, so hopefully the two-time champs got more in them. Yeah. Clayton Kershaw. Clayton, thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Yeah. Thanks, Kirsch.
Thanks, Kirsch.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.